Welcome to Elder Zen. Hit subscribe for simple health tips made just for seniors. Stay tuned. Your next great day starts here. Have you ever heard the saying, "What you don't know can't hurt you"? For many of us, especially as we get older, it's easy to think that as long as we're feeling fine, we must be healthy. Maybe you wake up in the morning, stretch your arms, and feel grateful for a pain-free body. Perhaps you stroll through the park, greet your neighbors, laugh with your grandchildren, and feel no reason to worry about your health. You tell your family, "Don't fuss over me, I'm doing just fine." But sometimes, the body hides secrets even from the people who know it best. Let's take a moment to talk honestly, heart to heart. There's a condition called pulmonary embolism that often slips in quietly, with no warning, no pain, and no obvious sign, especially in seniors. In fact, one of the most surprising things about pulmonary embolism is that it doesn't always announce its arrival with dramatic symptoms. Instead, it can sit silently, tucked away while you go about your daily life, convinced that nothing is wrong. So, why does this happen? Why do some people with pulmonary embolism feel perfectly well right up until the moment things take a sudden, serious turn? To understand, we have to look deeper into the way this condition works and how our bodies sometimes try to protect us by minimizing warning signals. Imagine this. You're a senior, living your usual routine. You have no fever, no obvious pain, maybe a little bit more tired than usual, but who isn't now and then? Perhaps you even feel healthier than some of your friends. Your blood pressure is steady. Your doctor's last checkup didn't raise any alarms. On the outside, you feel fine. But inside, a quiet storm could be brewing in your lungs, a storm called pulmonary embolism. This is not a rare scenario. Every year, thousands of older adults discover sometimes too late that a life-changing or even life-threatening condition was quietly at work inside them while they felt perfectly normal. The truth is, the classic signs of pulmonary embolism, like sudden shortness of breath, chest pain, or coughing, don't always show up right away. In seniors especially, symptoms can be so subtle that they blend in with everyday aches and aging. Or they can hide completely until a critical moment arrives. It's easy to brush off feeling a little more tired, or blame a little swelling on eating too much salt or sitting for too long. Maybe you chalk up a bit of dizziness to standing up too quickly, or a racing heartbeat to excitement or anxiety. In many cases, these are just part of life. But sometimes, they're the body's way of sending a quiet message, a whisper, not a shout that something is happening beneath the surface. The truth is, pulmonary embolism can be a master of disguise. For some people, it comes on like a thunderstorm, but for many, especially those over 60, it moves like a shadow, silent, subtle, and all too easy to ignore. Why does it do this? How does it stay hidden even when we're paying attention to our bodies? And what can we do to protect ourselves and those we love from the dangers we can't see or feel? In this video, we're going to explore the reasons why pulmonary embolism can hide its symptoms, especially in older adults who feel fine. We'll uncover how aging can change the way we experience warning signs, why some symptoms are easy to overlook, and which clues might be hiding in plain sight. You'll also hear real-life stories from seniors just like you who learned the importance of listening to their bodies, even when nothing seemed wrong. So, if you've ever wondered whether feeling normal really means you're in the clear, or if you want to make sure you never miss a hidden health risk, stay with us. We'll arm you with the knowledge to spot danger before it strikes, and the tools to stay safe, healthy, and confident no matter how well you think you feel. Grab a cup of tea, settle into your favorite chair, and let's begin this journey together. Because sometimes, the most important health warnings are the ones we can't feel at all, and it's what we learn now that could protect our future. Now, let's take a closer look at how pulmonary embolism manages to slip past even the most attentive seniors and their families. It's one thing to talk about hidden dangers, but it's another to realize just how skillfully our bodies can mask them. This isn't about ignoring pain or bravely toughing it out. It's about how subtle changes can quietly weave their way into our lives, making it difficult to tell where normal aging ends and real risk begins. To understand why pulmonary embolism so often goes undetected, imagine the body as an orchestra. In our youth, every instrument plays loud and clear, warning us with sharp pains, sudden fevers, or pounding heartbeats if something goes wrong. But as we age, those warning signals grow softer. Our nerves don't fire quite as quickly. Our immune system may respond more gently, and our bodies become experts at adapting, even to problems that deserve attention. For example, instead of sudden, dramatic chest pain, a senior might feel nothing more than a mild discomfort or an unfamiliar pressure in the chest. Rather than being out of breath after a few steps, they might just find themselves taking breaks more often, chalking it up to getting older. It's easy to say it's just a part of life. But sometimes what we brush aside as harmless is actually a vital clue. Picture this. Evelyn, a lively 78-year-old, never missed her daily morning walks. She felt proud of her energy and independence. Over a few weeks, though, she noticed she was stopping to rest more often. At first, she joked about it with her friends. "Guess I'm not as young as I used to be," she'd laugh. But behind the laughter was a truth she didn't see. Her lungs were quietly struggling, even while she felt fine. By the time her daughter convinced her to see a doctor, she was diagnosed with pulmonary embolism. Her body's quiet signals had nearly slipped by unnoticed. This kind of story isn't rare. Seniors like Evelyn often have underlying health conditions, high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart issues that can blur the lines between ordinary fatigue and something more dangerous. Some may be on medications that affect how their bodies respond to stress. Others may simply be so accustomed to aches and pains that they accept them as their new normal. And let's not forget, many of us are taught to be stoic. We don't want to complain, burden our loved ones, or make a fuss over minor symptoms. We convince ourselves that as long as we're not bedridden or gasping for air, everything must be fine. But here's what matters most. Pulmonary embolism doesn't always follow the rules. Sometimes, the symptoms are so mild or gradual that we barely notice them. Sometimes, there are no symptoms at all until the situation becomes an emergency. This is why it's so important to pay attention, not just to what you feel, but to any changes in your daily routine, your energy, or your ability to do the things you love. Even small changes, feeling a bit more tired, needing to sit down more, often feeling slightly dizzy or lightheaded, can be clues that something is happening inside your body. Instead of dismissing these as just getting older, think of them as gentle nudges to check in with your health. Ultimately, the invisible nature of pulmonary embolism is a call to be proactive. It's about being your own best advocate and listening closely when your body whispers, even when it's not shouting. By staying curious, asking questions, and sharing any new or unusual symptoms with your doctor, you can outsmart this silent threat and take charge of your well-being. And remember, you're not alone in this. Your loved ones, your friends, your healthcare team, they're all part of your orchestra, too, ready to help you listen for the soft notes and protect you from what you can't always see or feel. So let's keep our eyes open, trust our instincts, and move forward with awareness and confidence. As we move further into this discussion, let's reflect for a moment on the everyday signals our bodies send us, signals that can be surprisingly easy to overlook. After all, when you're living a full life, busy with routines, family, and maybe even a few cherished hobbies, who has time to worry about every little ache or yawn? But sometimes, it's exactly those little things that carry the most important messages. Think about your typical day. Perhaps you wake up feeling a bit more tired than usual, but you brush it off, blaming it on a restless night. You might find yourself losing your breath a bit quicker during your afternoon stroll. But you chalk it up to the summer heat, or maybe the extra slice of cake you had at lunch. And yet, deep down, there's a small voice suggesting that something's different, not necessarily wrong, but certainly different. Let's not ignore that voice. For many seniors, it's easy to develop a habit of dismissing new or unfamiliar sensations as just aging. But what if we turn that thinking around? What if, instead of ignoring these signals, we tuned into them, really listened to what our bodies are trying to say? Let me share another story, a common one that may sound familiar. Take Harold, age 82, who prided himself on his independence. For years, he managed his garden, ran errands, even looked after his grandkids on weekends. One autumn, he began to notice he needed longer breaks between tasks. He was winded more easily, but there were no sharp pains, no obvious problems. His appetite was fine, his sleep was mostly undisturbed, and he still felt fine. But his daughter noticed he was skipping his usual walks and even asked her for help lifting groceries, something he never did before. These quiet changes were the body's way of nudging Harold to pay closer attention. As it turned out, after a routine checkup and some simple tests, his doctor found evidence of a pulmonary embolism quietly disrupting his ability to move oxygen. Harold's case reminds us that, sometimes, the loudest danger comes dressed in the quietest changes. It's important to realize that pulmonary embolism in seniors often defies expectations. Many expect drama, a sudden collapse, severe pain, or breathlessness that can't be ignored. And yes, sometimes it happens that way. But often, the first signs are so mild that even a careful observer can miss them. A vague sense of unease, occasional dizziness or swelling that seems to come and go without explanation. Sometimes, there's just a sense that something isn't quite right, a whisper rather than a shout. So, what can you do? First, trust yourself. No one knows your body like you do. Keep track of changes, even if they seem minor. If you notice you're taking longer to do your usual activities, feeling more tired after simple chores, or needing to catch your breath, more often, make a note of it. It's not being alarmist, it's being proactive. Second, communicate openly with your healthcare provider. They can help you sort out what's normal for your age and what needs closer attention. Remember, the goal isn't to live in fear or anxiety, but to be empowered to turn awareness into action. By recognizing even subtle shifts, you give yourself the chance to address concerns early, get the right support, and avoid more serious complications. And let's be honest, life is precious at every age. Every sunrise, every shared meal, every hug from a grandchild is worth protecting. By listening to the whispers of your body and sharing those observations with loved ones and doctors, you become the hero of your own health story. That's not just wisdom, it's a superpower. So next time you catch yourself thinking, "It's nothing, I'm just getting older," pause and ask, "Is my body trying to tell me something more?" Stay curious, stay alert, and never underestimate the value of your own instincts. Because when it comes to pulmonary embolism, even the quietest warning is worth hearing. Now that we've started listening for the whispers our bodies give us, let's ask a crucial question. Why does pulmonary embolism so often fly under the radar, especially for seniors who feel fine most days? The answer is surprisingly complex, and understanding it could be the key to protecting yourself and your loved ones. To begin, it helps to picture the body as a great orchestra. When everything is working smoothly, each instrument, your heart, lungs, veins, plays in perfect harmony. But sometimes, a single instrument can play off-key, softly at first, and then growing in urgency. That's what happens when a pulmonary embolism is forming. The signs might be quiet, even easy to ignore, until suddenly they crescendo into something much more serious. For older adults, there are a few unique reasons why symptoms stay hidden. First, As we age, our bodies naturally adapt to changes in heart and lung function. A slight shortness of breath may not seem unusual if you've spent years adjusting to a slower pace or have learned to pace yourself with age. Second, many seniors live with chronic conditions, arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure that bring their own daily discomforts, making it tough to spot what's new and what's just normal for me. But here's a gentle but important reminder: not every ache or tired spell is harmless. In the case of pulmonary embolism, what might appear as ordinary aging can actually be your body quietly waving a red flag. Let's illustrate this with a true-to-life example. Imagine Mary, 76, who had recently recovered from a bout of pneumonia. A month later, she noticed that climbing stairs took just a bit more effort. She figured her lungs needed more time to heal, so she rested more and postponed her daily walks. Her daughter, visiting for the weekend, noticed her mom's ankles looked a little puffy. Mary felt fine, no pain, no dramatic changes. But that gentle nudge from her daughter led to a doctor's visit, which ultimately revealed an early-stage pulmonary embolism. Catching it early made all the difference in her recovery. This story, and so many like it, teach us the power of being observant and proactive, not just for ourselves, but for those we care about. Subtle changes like swelling, fatigue, or mild shortness of breath shouldn't be brushed aside, even if you feel fine most of the time. What's more, it's easy to dismiss these signs because they often develop gradually, day by day. You adjust to your new normal, not realizing that your body is adapting to a problem that needs attention. That's why regular self-check-ins and honest conversations with your healthcare provider are so essential. Don't be shy about reporting even mild symptoms. Your doctor is there to help you separate normal aging from signs that need a closer look. Let's not forget, too, that your story, your observations could help someone else. When you talk about how you're feeling, when you share your experience with friends or family, you might inspire them to pay closer attention to their own bodies. Health isn't just a personal journey, it's a shared one. So, as we move forward in this video, let's commit to being both gentle and vigilant with ourselves. Let's promise to treat every signal from our body, no matter how quiet. It's valuable information, never an inconvenience, never a bother. Because every small observation could be the clue that keeps you or someone you love safe, independent, and healthy for years to come. Stay with me, because next, we'll dive even deeper into the practical steps you can take to spot these early warning signs, ask the right questions, and truly advocate for your health at any age. Let's keep the conversation flowing by looking even closer at what you can actually do starting right now to make sure pulmonary embolism doesn't go undetected. The truth is, small changes and gentle daily habits can make a world of difference when it comes to your health, especially as we age. But what should you be watching for, and how can you act before a problem grows serious? To begin, think of your body as a wise friend who's always sending you little messages. Sometimes those messages are loud and impossible to miss, but more often, they're just whispers. The trick is learning to listen and to trust what you hear. One of the simplest ways to start is by setting aside a quiet moment each day, maybe with your morning coffee or while settling in before bed, to do a gentle check-in. Ask yourself, have I noticed any new swelling in my legs or ankles? Am I getting winded doing things that used to feel easy, like watering the plants or walking to the mailbox? Is there any tightness in my chest or a strange new ache that lingers? These are the little signals you're looking for. And if you're not sure whether something is new or unusual, here's a practical tip. Keep a small journal by your bedside or use a notepad on your phone. Jot down your daily experiences, how you're feeling, what's changed, even what feels off. Over time, patterns can emerge that might be invisible day to day. This simple act can be a lifeline, not only for you, but for your healthcare provider who needs these details to help you stay safe. But what if you do spot a change? That's where the power of partnership comes in. Never feel you have to manage health worries alone. Share your observations with a family member or a trusted friend. Sometimes, those closest to us will notice subtle shifts like moving more slowly or sitting down to rest more often before we do ourselves. Opening up these conversations can feel vulnerable, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do for your long-term health and independence. Let's not underestimate the importance of routine medical visits either. These check-ins are about more than just blood pressure or weight. Use them as a chance to talk honestly about even small symptoms. Your doctor would much rather address a concern early than rush to fix a crisis later. To make these appointments more effective, come prepared with your journal or a list of questions. Don't worry about sounding repetitive or silly. There is no such thing when it comes to your health. Remember, you are your own best advocate. Sometimes, of course, symptoms appear suddenly. Maybe you wake in the night with unexplained shortness of breath, or you find your leg has swelled up and feels unusually warm. In these moments, time is precious. Don't hesitate to seek emergency help. Better to discover it's a false alarm than to miss an opportunity for early treatment. Stories can be powerful reminders. Take the example of Harold, 69, who noticed he was struggling to catch his breath just carrying in groceries. He nearly ignored it, chalking it up to just getting older. But a few days later, when he mentioned it to his daughter, she encouraged him to see his doctor. That decision led to an early diagnosis and a much easier road to recovery. In closing this segment, let's agree that the path to well-being isn't about never having problems, but about noticing them early, speaking up, and building a supportive circle around you. Every little step you take, listening to your body, keeping a record, reaching out to others, moves you closer to a healthier, more confident life. And remember, you're not just doing this for yourself. You're also setting an example for your children, your grandchildren, and your friends. The habits you build today can inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of wellness and awareness in your community. Up next, we'll explore simple, senior-friendly lifestyle changes that can help prevent pulmonary embolism and keep you active, independent, and enjoying every moment. Stay with me, your best days could be just ahead. Now, let's dive right into what you can do today and every day to lower your risk of pulmonary embolism and take real control over your health. Because the truth is, prevention isn't just a word in a doctor's office. It's a collection of simple actions you can take, woven gently into the fabric of your everyday life. First, movement is your best friend. And no, you don't need to sign up for a marathon or hit the gym at 6 a.m. Instead, try to think about movement as a gift you give yourself. Start small. Maybe it's a short walk down the street after breakfast, a gentle stretch when you first get out of bed, or even a bit of light housework. For those who might find walking a challenge, moving your ankles in circles or flexing your feet up and down while sitting can help keep your blood flowing and your body happy. Remember, the body loves consistency more than intensity. If you're watching TV, use the commercial breaks as a cue to stand up. Roll your shoulders, take a few steps around the room. Set a timer if you need a reminder. You'd be surprised how these little bursts of movement add up throughout your day and how much they can help your lungs and circulation stay strong. Hydration is another secret weapon, often overlooked, but so important. Drinking water regularly helps keep your blood at the right consistency for your heart and lungs to do their best work. Keep a glass or bottle nearby and sip slowly as you go about your daily activities. It's a small change, but it can have a powerful impact over time. Now, let's talk about food, another area where gentle, thoughtful choices can protect you. Fresh fruits, leafy greens, whole grains, and healthy fats like those in olive oil, avocado, and fish are wonderful for your heart and blood vessels. These foods not only taste good, but they also provide your body with the nutrients it needs to stay resilient and lower your risk of complications. Like pulmonary embolism, you don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. Try adding one extra serving of vegetables at lunch, or swap a sugary drink for herbal tea now and then. Of course, everyone's situation is unique. For those living with other chronic conditions, such as diabetes, high blood pressure, or heart disease, working closely with your healthcare team is essential. They can help you craft a routine and diet that fits your needs and offer advice on medications, movement, and even stress management. Speaking of stress, let's not forget the power of the mind. Regular relaxation and deep breathing exercises aren't just for yoga enthusiasts. They help calm your nervous system, support your lungs, and remind you to slow down and check in with your body. Maybe you enjoy sitting by an open window, feeling the air on your skin, and taking a few slow, deep breaths. Or perhaps a few minutes of gentle meditation before bed helps you sleep better. These moments are just as valuable as any physical exercise. And let's circle back to support because, just like we mentioned earlier, you don't have to do any of this alone. Involve family, friends, and caregivers in your routines. Share what you're learning and what you're aiming for. Maybe a neighbor would like to join you on your daily walk, or perhaps a loved one can help you prepare healthy meals together. There's joy in connection, and it keeps you motivated. Let's end this segment with a true story that brings these habits to life. Eleanor, age 76, started a wellness journal after her hospital stay. She jots down her meals, walks, and moods each day. Over time, she noticed not only fewer symptoms, but also more energy and a brighter outlook. She says, "I used to feel like my body was the enemy. But now I see it as a partner, one I'm learning to care for every single day." So as we move forward, remember, your daily choices, no matter how small, build a stronger, safer future. Up next, we'll explore how to handle setbacks, stay motivated, and keep your new habits going strong. Even when life throws you a curveball, you're on the right path, and every step matters. Life, as we know, is rarely a straight path. There will be days when your legs feel a little heavier, when fatigue whispers louder than motivation, or when you wonder if your small daily efforts are really making any difference. And that's completely normal, especially after facing something as daunting as pulmonary embolism. Let's talk about how to face those tough days, bounce back, and continue the journey towards stronger health. First, it's important to remember that healing is not a race. There is no finish line you're supposed to cross by a certain date. For many people, especially seniors, recovery from pulmonary embolism or any serious health scare is filled with ups and downs. One day you might feel ready to walk around the block. Another day, you might need to rest and simply stretch from your chair. Both days are valuable. Both are part of your progress. When you encounter a setback, a bad night's sleep, a day when your legs swell, or perhaps a flare-up of an old ache, be gentle with yourself. Remind yourself that one slow day doesn't erase all the positive choices you've made. Think of your journey like tending a garden. Some days you plant seeds, other days you let the sun and rain do their work. Growth is happening, even if you can't see it right away. If you find motivation slipping, try changing up your routine. Sometimes, all it takes is a new playlist during your morning stretches, a different walking path, or even a fresh recipe to reignite your interest. Celebrate your small victories. Maybe today you climbed the stairs a little easier, or you remembered to drink an extra glass of water, or you wrote in your wellness journal. Each of these actions is a win, yes, even the tiniest ones. Another powerful motivator is connection. Don't be shy about sharing your ups and downs with others. Maybe you call a friend or neighbor and walk together, even if it's just around your living room. Join an online support group or a local senior center where others share similar experiences These connections bring not only accountability, but encouragement, and sometimes a good laugh, which is its own kind of medicine. For caregivers and family members tuning in, this is your moment to shine. Offer a gentle hand or a listening ear, and encourage your loved one to keep moving, keep eating well, and keep believing in their own resilience. Your support is the bridge that helps them cross from a day of doubt to a day of hope. Let's not forget the value of routine check-ins with your healthcare team. Schedule those regular appointments. Keep a list of questions or symptoms you notice, and never hesitate to ask for guidance. Doctors, nurses, and therapists are partners in your journey. They want to see you succeed just as much as you do. Here's a story that might inspire you. Tom, a 71-year-old retired teacher, had always prided himself on independence. After his pulmonary embolism, he struggled with feelings of frustration on his bad days. But Tom started setting little reminders on his phone, just a beep to stand up and move, or a note to call his daughter and tell her about his day. Over time, he found those tiny nudges kept him going, even on the hardest days. It's not about doing everything right, Tom says. It's about doing something every day. That's what builds confidence again. So, as you continue this journey, remember, healing is a mosaic of effort, patience, and self-kindness. Embrace every step, celebrate every effort, and know that even when you stumble, you're still moving forward. Up next, we'll explore how to build a supportive environment at home, one that truly empowers you to live well, safely, and with more joy, no matter your age. Stay with me, because the best is yet to come. Now, let's turn our attention to something truly practical: your living space. Your home is more than just a place to sleep or eat. It's your sanctuary, your safe haven, and after a health scare like pulmonary embolism, it becomes the foundation for your daily recovery and ongoing wellness. So, how can we transform your home into a place that not only supports healing, but also empowers you to stay active, safe, and independent? First, take a slow, mindful walk around your home. Notice any spots where you've tripped or felt unsteady in the past. Maybe a loose rug in the hallway, or a cluster of shoes by the door, or a chair that wobbles. These little hazards can seem insignificant, but as we grow older, they can make a big difference in our sense of confidence and safety. By removing tripping hazards, securing rugs, and keeping walkways clear, you immediately create a safer environment to move freely. Next, let's talk about making movement easier, not harder. Maybe that means rearranging your living room so you have a clear space to do your stretches, or setting up a sturdy chair in the kitchen for quick sit and stand exercises while waiting for the kettle to boil. Consider adding supportive grab bars in the bathroom or near the stairs. These aren't just for people with mobility issues. They're helpful for anyone wanting a little extra balance. And then think about light. Good lighting is essential, especially at night or early morning when your eyes might not have fully adjusted. Make sure hallways and bathrooms are well lit, perhaps with motion sensor night lights, so you can navigate safely for those late-night trips. It's a small change, but it makes a huge difference in reducing falls or stumbles. Let's not forget the importance of routine and reminders. Place sticky notes on your refrigerator, mirrors, or near the TV, gentle cues that say, "Time to stand up and stretch," or "Drink a glass of water." Even setting an alarm on your phone or clock can prompt you to get moving, check your posture, or just pause and breathe deeply for a moment. These habits built into your environment help you remember self-care without stress. Don't be shy about enlisting help from friends and family either. Maybe your grandson can help move a heavy piece of furniture, or your neighbor can recommend a handyman to install safety bars. There's no shame in asking for help. In fact, it's a sign of wisdom, not weakness. Remember, everyone needs support now and then, and you're giving loved ones a chance to show how much they care. Let's pause for a real-life example. Mary, a 68-year-old widow from Michigan, transformed her home after her pulmonary embolism scare. She cleared out clutter, installed a grab bar by her bathtub, and set up a cozy corner with all her wellness tools, resistance bands, water bottle, and her favorite puzzles. "My home feels like a partner in my recovery." Mary says, "Not an obstacle course." Finally, celebrate your progress. Every time you make a change, no matter how small, acknowledge it. These steps add up. A safe, supportive home is not just about preventing accidents. It's about creating an environment where you can thrive. Keep your independence and enjoy every day with confidence and peace of mind. So as you look around your home today, remember, little improvements lead to big results. You deserve to. Feel safe, strong, and empowered in your own space. And as we wrap up this journey together, let's carry that spirit of self-care and optimism forward, embracing each new day with hope and a sense of possibility. Stay tuned for the closing segment. Your journey to better health and independence is just beginning. As we reach the close of our journey today, I want to take a moment and remind you, every story of recovery, every bit of progress you make, no matter how small, matters. The road after a pulmonary embolism can feel uncertain at first. Maybe you're still getting used to new routines, or maybe some days you worry about another health scare. But here's the truth, you're not walking this path alone. And every single change you make, every safe step you take, is a testament to your courage, your resilience, and your commitment to living a life filled with possibility. Let's take a gentle breath together. Breathe in and out. As you do, know that this simple act is a celebration of your body's ability to heal, to recover, and to adapt. The air you take in is more than just oxygen. It's a fresh start, a second chance, and a reminder that every new day brings opportunities for growth, joy, and connection. Maybe you're thinking, but it's hard sometimes. Of course it is. Recovery is never a straight line. Some mornings, you might wake up feeling strong, ready to take on the world. Other days, fatigue or fear might weigh you down. That's natural. What matters most is that you keep going at your pace, in your way, embracing progress rather than perfection. So, what can you do moving forward? Let's recap some of the most important lessons from our time together. First, always listen to your body. Trust those small signals, whether it's a little extra swelling, a twinge of discomfort, or even just a sense that something isn't right. Your body is wise. It knows when you need to slow down, when to reach for help, and when to celebrate a victory, no matter how small, tots. Second, keep your environment supportive. The changes you've made, clearing walkways, brightening your rooms, building routines, are not just practical. They're gifts you've given to your future self. They make it easier to stay independent, active, and safe. And remember, it's never too late to ask for help or to share your journey with those who care about you. Community is another vital ingredient. Healing doesn't happen in isolation. Reach out to friends, neighbors, or support groups, whether in person or online. Share your worries, your victories, even your setbacks. You'd be surprised how many people are walking similar paths, eager to lend an ear or share advice. Sometimes, just knowing someone else understands can lighten the load and lift your spirits. Now, let's talk about hope. Hope isn't wishful thinking. It's a choice. It's the decision, every morning, to get up and try again. It's looking in the mirror and saying, "I'm proud of how far I've come." Maybe you start a gratitude journal, jotting down 3 good things each day, no matter how small. Or maybe you keep a calendar, marking every day you took a walk, stretched, or simply smiled at yourself in the mirror. You see, your journey is not defined by the setbacks you faced, but by the strength you show in meeting each new challenge. Pulmonary embolism may have been a turning point, but it is not the end of your story. It's a chapter that can lead to greater self-understanding, better habits, and a deeper sense of gratitude for each moment. For family members or caregivers tuning in, your support means everything. A kind word, a shared walk, a gentle reminder to take medication, or even just your presence during a checkup, these simple gestures can make all the difference. Remember, healing is a team effort. If you're not sure how to help, just ask. Sometimes, a loved one simply needs someone to listen, to encourage, or to sit with them as they face their fears. Let's take a lesson from real life. Meet John, age 72, who thought his world had shrunk after his pulmonary embolism. The stairs seemed steeper, the days longer, and loneliness crept in. But one day, his daughter suggested they start a morning movement club, just the two of them, stretching and walking in the living room each day. Over time, John's strength returned, but even more importantly, so did his sense of purpose and joy. Stories like John's remind us that every small step, every gentle change can lead to big transformation, whether it's sharing a recipe, calling a friend, or simply standing up and moving for a few minutes each hour. These are victories worth celebrating. And as you look ahead, remember, the future is unwritten. It's full of pages waiting for your story, one that is rich in hope, resilience, and the courage to keep choosing health and happiness. Day by day, if this video has helped you, please share it with a friend, a neighbor, or anyone who might need a little extra encouragement today. You never know, the story you share could save a life or inspire someone to take that next small but powerful step forward. So, as we close, take another deep breath, let it out slowly, and feel a sense of pride. You are taking charge of your well-being. You're creating a life you love, safe, supported, and strong. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, every sunrise is another chance, and every choice you make is a message of hope for yourself and everyone you care about. Until next time, take care, stay connected, and keep moving forward.